Ryan Anderson here, the driver of Son of a Digger, and you're watching Rod Rod's Championship League.
What's going on, everybody? Project Rod here, and it is time to wrap up Stop 4 of Tour Blue with Freestyle, Black Pearl, and Steel Titan taking his first best trick win. So he's 3 for 3 so far here in Colorado. As we take a look at the best trick leaderboards, and we're going to be taking a look at the seasonal leaderboards right now, he brought that differentiation from 15 to 11 between him and Megalodon. So these two drivers are the ones to keep an eye on right now, as it's going to be a battle to the finish to see who's going to be our Tour champion. So without further ado, let's get Freestyle started. As our first truck is hitting the track now, it's going to be Drift 4912 and El Toro Loco, getting some nice big air, huge sky wheelie. Hard landing on the tail end of the truck, but beautiful combo there as he's going to get a wheelie up and over that obstacle. But again, it's going to be a very, very interesting competition here, as Stop 5 is the last one, and it's the next stop. Going back to Death Valley, El Toro Loco, huge air again, but a little top heavy, like in best trick, and landing hard on that front end, but enough momentum to get him back on all fours, and he's going to continue the run. So far, nothing's been said, and he seems to be okay, so we will continue the run as normal. Right here, some trouble. He's able to save it. Stuck in some sidewalls now, trying to save the truck, get it back on all fours, and there it is. But again, Stop 5, we're returning to Death Valley, back where it all started, and it's going to be very interesting. As again, these two top trucks, and not to take away from anybody, I know I've been mainly talking about Megalodon and Steel Titan. And a front flip for El Toro Loco, beautifully executed, and I feel like I'm taking away from his run right now. But there's just so much to cover in such little time. Beautiful sky wheelie. But Megalodon and Black Pearl, I mean, not to take away from anybody, but these two, it seems like it's up to them. Unless they just have horrible competitions in Stop 5 and they both end up in last place. I mean, that gives opportunity to Lucas Stabilizer and Brutus. Nice shot there. That was a beautiful camera angle. But that would essentially give Lucas Stabilizer and Brutus an opportunity and a nice save to be the Tour winners. But I don't know. It's going to be tough because these guys have been on top of their game all season. And it's coming down to them, too. There's an 11-point difference between both of these drivers. Black Pearl, honestly, at this point, has the best chance of being the overall event champion. And right there, El Toro Loco's run coming to an end, leaving about 6 seconds on the clock. So let's shift gears here and look at his replay. Honestly, it was a great run. I know I spoke through most of it, yapping session all the way. But, again, a lot of great information that needs to be said. But right here, beautiful front flip. This camera angle right here was perfect, capturing this moment here. And this somersault here, that turned into a save. So a great run for El Toro Loco. It should score well. 7.731 for El Toro Loco. So not a bad score. Starting off as Little Drift 912 comes out now. Starting off the same way as El Toro Loco, getting some huge air. And a nice wheelie to follow. But again, at this point in the game, Black Pearl has the best opportunity to be the overall event champion, unless he absolutely tanks in Freestyle. But if that's the case, you gotta put into account 5 extra bonus points to Black Pearl. That brings the difference from 11 to 6. So depending on where he places in Freestyle and where Megalodon places in Freestyle, I mean, we could essentially see Black Pearl retaking his lead here in Stop 3. Monster Mutt, though, some issues, and able to save it. Beautifully done by Little Drift 912. And she's going to ride it across now. Hard hit on that front end into that obstacle. But that's not going to stop her. She's going to continue the run. Beautiful wheelie to follow suit, dragging that tail on the ground. And right here, some more trouble getting a front flip out of it. But I don't even know what's going on over here now. Now she's in sidewalls. So a lot of craziness here for Monster Man. And honestly, switching gears again. Look at this, another front flip. Switching gears, though. Again, I'm going back and forth a lot, so keep up, because there's a lot of information coming out here today in this competition. Monster Mutt and Little Drift has been one of the most surprising freestylers in this event, and again, she's mastered the double backflips. So I wouldn't be surprised if she comes out with a freestyle win at some point, but you never know. So kudos to her for coming out and then just tearing it up day in and day out when it comes to this season. Unfortunately, the numbers on the leaderboards don't show it But looking back at her runs, I mean, she puts a lot of effort in her freestyle runs. Maybe that's just her calling. But right here, a beautiful save. Maybe, possibly, no, yes. Beautiful save. And another front flip, more so over somersault. I don't know. She's going to roll it over and end it there. So time is up. She filled the clock. A lot of craziness. But you got to remember, too, you know, you got to have a consistent run, momentum run, a lot of variety. You know, flipping all over the place honestly won't get you a win in the grand scheme of things. But honestly, an amazing run, and we should definitely have a new leader at the end of this. And an 8.171, so a fantastic score for Monster Mutt. And scoring systems have been adjusted in these last couple stops, so you will see a difference in scores and you know, the highs and the lows and whatnot. But Gravedigger the Legend and Firefly almost getting the best trick win. Maybe he can come out on top with a freestyle win. Beautiful bicycle right here off of that ramp, and almost a corkscrew. Able to save it. Beautifully done. So Firefly, I'm sure he'd love to come out and get a freestyle win after not getting that best trick win. Again, it was close. It was a tough call. But you got to look at the big picture, if you will, and just, you know, there's just a little bit more skill on the winning competitor. So, you know, it is what it is. Hopefully we'll get out on next time. But right here, beautiful save, and he's putting on a great run, great momentum so far for Gravedigger the Legend. But again, kind of shifting gears again, so keep up with me. I'm sorry. It's going to be interesting to see what the outcome of this event is going to be, because there's so many different variables, so many different things that can happen, so many different things that can go right, that can go wrong. So, I don't know. A lot can happen, and it's going to be very interesting to see who's going to be the winner at the end of this. Oh, huge air. Beautifully done. I mean, he's putting on quite a show, getting good momentum, getting good moves, getting hits all across the board, and a crazy rollover here, but able to save it. So, nicely done by Gravedigger the Legend. And Firefly going for a forward momentum backflip off the starting ramp of the race lane. And stuck in some craziness here as he's trying to save it. Getting control of that truck, getting into the right angle for a little bit of a moonwalk. And some beautiful cyclones to follow suit. So, Firefly just putting it all out there at this point. 8 seconds left on the clock. Wondering if he can end it with a big move, or if he's just going to end it suddenly. And that's it. That is time. So this move right here, anything past this will not count towards his final score, and he's going to put an end to his run right there. So looking at the replays of his run, honestly, great run, a phenomenal run. Lots of great momentum, lots of great moves, lots of great combos. He was all over the track. So definitely could see a new leader right here, the forward momentum backflip that led him into those crazy sidewalls, and then those cyclones towards the end of the run. And a new leader, 9.027 for Gravedigger the Legend. Here comes Son of a Digger now. But again, Firefly, an amazing freestyle run, and we'll see how long that sticks. But here comes Son of a Digger, and Worst COD player, seeing what he can do. Again, any points, any possible points that he can get here, any high points that he can get, will definitely benefit him when it comes to getting that last minute, that last stretch, that last minute invite into World Finals. If not, he will be in the LCQ. And some trouble here, trying to save an awkward bounce, and getting it back on all fours into a beautiful wheelie, and getting a front flip. So that's been kind of a hot area there, because I know Monster Mutt did the same thing. So nicely done. It's just a great spot for it. Almost got another power wheelie there. So huge air for Son of a Digger. But I don't know, in the grand scheme of things overall this season, I mean, it's been incredible. We've seen lots of highs, lots of lows, and spectacular moments. So it's bittersweet to come towards the end. Again, Stop 5 is going to be the next one for Tor Blue. We still have Stop 4 of Tor Violet before we get there, but it's been an incredible season, and it's going to be a fight to the finish. And honestly, I feel like it's going to be like that in both leagues, both tours. And that save into a sidewall, and I'm surprised nothing's been said yet, because he did happen to touch that wall. But he's continuing to go. This truck is doing everything possible, and there you go, getting that save. So able to continue the run. 30 seconds left. He could use a little bit more variation in his run to ensure that he gets that lead. Huge air for Son of a Digger. But again, as I mentioned, I mean, it's been an incredible season overall. And both tours, it's going to be a fight to the finish. I mean, right now, you know, even with Max D and Matt Johnson and Tor Violet, even with that huge lead that he has, it's still a possibility for him to lose it. Northern Nightmare is on his heels, and Dragon is slowly working his way up. So, you know, you never know. But Son of a Digger and Worst Call Player ending his run there as we take a look at a replay of his run. So a few highlights. And a great run all the way around. A lot of time saving it, a lot of time in sidewall. So I don't know if that's going to hurt him at all. He did have that instance here where he touched that wall. So again, I don't know if there may be some kind of penalties or anything for that. But again, beautiful donuts, and let's see it, an 8.039, so a great score, but not enough to take the lead away from Gravedigger the Legend. Here comes Lucas Stabilizer now. And Cecily, 96. Let's see what she has in store for us. She's got a freestyle win before, if I'm not mistaken. It was back in Alaska, and that one was a tough one. Oh, back in stop 3, actually. If I'm not mistaken, that was hers to win. And a great save. So I'm sure she'd like to come back and get another win. And actually, I can try to pull up her not her records, but I guess the records of the tour overall. Beautiful slap wheelie. Let's see if she can take it into somewhere for a front flip. No, she's going to end it before she can get anywhere near that. But yes, she did have a freestyle win back in stop 3. So maybe she can go back to back here. Huge sky wheelie. And I'm sure she'd love to go back to back. She was, let's see, I think she was just over 100 points in the overall season, so there's still quite a difference. There's still quite a gap between her and Black Purple. Again, you never know. If she can get a win here, Black Pearl and Megalodon tank this competition, tank the next stop. She has an opportunity just as well as Brutus does, so you never know. You never know. Anything can happen here in this competition. So far, a great run. Has roughly 45 seconds left on the clock. Nice save there. But going back to Tor Violet in that conversation, again, Matt Johnson, an incredible tear. He's currently undefeated in racing. And undefeated in racing and qualifying, might I add. He did lose his streak in skills, and he's still chasing that freestyle win. But, you know, he still has stop 4. That's also going to be in Colorado. He has stop 5, which is going to be back in Alaska. But Northern Nightmare has been on quite of a tear lately. Can she get the save? She will get the save and continue the run. But Northern Nightmare and Daniel Murray, I mean, he's been pretty consistent, and he's been at the heels of Matt Johnson. So I don't know. We again, anything can happen. Time is up for Lucas Stabilizer. That is it for her freestyle run. So that will not count. That jump right there will not count towards her score. So she's going to end it with some donuts for the fans, for the viewers, and the judges are going to be working on getting everything together for her now. So never-ending donuts, it seems, and she is done. So let's take a look at some highlights right here. Beautiful slap wheelie up and over that jump. And honestly, it was a pretty consistent run, but nothing too crazy in terms of wow factors. Nice save there. I don't even recall getting her getting some kind of flip or anything. She did have that crazy save, but still. Here we go, an 8.238 for Lucas Stabilizer, so a great score, but not enough to take the lead as April Summers and Monster Jam Showdown come out. She's going to start off chasing her tail with some crazy cyclones. And she is one that would love to come out with a win on something. So far this season, a freestyle win would be great, as that honestly is one of her favorite competitions when it comes to this. So a freestyle win would come out great, but she has to beat Gravedigger the Legend if she wants to get that win. And then she has a few more tanks right behind her in Angel Garcia, Black Pearl, and Megalodon. Huge air and a beautiful save for the Dalmatian. But again, I mean, she has some heavy hitters right behind her. So, you know, it's going to be tough to get a great score and hold it. I mean, again, Brutus being the first freestyle winner of the season, and he's shown some great runs and some fantastic runs this season. Some trouble here getting into some sidewalls. And can she save it? Yes, breakdancing it on the nose, but she's able to save it and continue the run. But again, she shouldn't be the only one worried about the heavy hitters right behind her, because, again, Gravedigger the Legend, nice onboard cam there. Gravedigger the Legend and Firefly should be worried as well. As again, Brutus, a heavy hitter, previous freestyle winner, in some trouble. Can she save it? Luckily, that jump is angled just right. She's able to get into some sidewalls and get a beautiful save. So nicely done. But again, Brutus, the original winner from the first stop of season one of this season, I should say. Brutus being the original winner and has been pretty consistent in freestyle since then. Black Pearl, not a freestyle win yet, but has thrown down some amazing runs as well as Megalodon. So those three guys, I mean, they can easily knock out that score. But it just depends on if luck is on their side and if they can come out with a great run with some great momentum, balancing it on one wheel, then getting a save here. Beautifully done by April Summers and Monster Jam Dalmatian, coming down to the last few seconds. This may be her last hit, getting a backflip. Yes, landing it perfectly. And right there, her time is done. So anything from here on out will not be scored by the judges. So going to end it the same way Lucas Stabilizer did with some donuts here, and that's going to be it for Monster Jam Dalmatian. So looking at the replays now, looking at the highlights, not too bad of a run, pretty consistent, great saves, great moves, but tons of sidewalls. And right here, thought the run would have ended there, but luckily she got a lucky break and was able to land in the right angle and then ending it again with a forward momentum backflip. These race lanes are perfect for that, and an 8.478, so again, a great score, but not enough to take the lead. She needed about 0.6 more points to take that lead away as Angel Garcia and Brutus come out now. Again, a former freestyle winner, the first one of the season back in Death Valley. And freestyle win would be fantastic for him right now. Again, it's all dependent on Black Pearl and Megalodon, on them not doing too well, and I don't even know what happened there, but able to save it and continue the run. I'm sure he's a little stricken up. He's not sure what happened, but he's able to continue the run nonetheless, and he will do so. Huge air. But again, Black Pearl and Megalodon tanking the next competition will mean success for either Brutus or Lucas Stabilizer. So Brutus, I mean, at this point, he doesn't need to give up. He needs to give it his all and give it his absolute best and hopefully come out on top with a win. But this guy, I mean, he's been pretty consistent so far, not only in freestyle. He's had a few back and forths in best trick, not to mention like today, unfortunately had an unlucky break in best trick. So honestly, I believe he was either in last place or second to last in the leaderboard. So wasn't the outcome he was hoping for. And yes, enough momentum to save it. But again, unfortunately, didn't have the best outing in best trick. But when it comes to freestyle, when it comes to racing and qualifying, I mean, he's been there. He's been in the top 4 more or less in racing. And freestyle, he's been pretty consistent. So I mean, he's a fighter. And I've mentioned it once, and I'll mention it again. I could see Brutus coming out with some hardware in freestyle for World Finals. Beautiful backflip. I could see him being one of the winners. Again, he's, I guess I don't want to point out favorites, but in predictions, I mean, we've had some amazing freestyle runs. But Brutus, right now, as of now, he is one of my favorites to win the freestyle competition in World Finals. But you never know. Again, we have some amazing competition on both tours. So you never know what could happen. Daniel Murray in Northern Nightmare, obviously, he's been pretty consistent in freestyle. Finally got his first win. Back in stop 3, and he's going to end it there. Going to be able to get the save. It wasn't during the time. It came in after time was done. So could that be a difference maker here? You would hope not, but you never know. Because yes, he was still in the middle of the trick when time ran out, but it still came in after. So I was over here distracted talking about other drivers and such, but we'll get back to that here in a second. Let's go ahead and see what his score is going to be. 8.718, so close. Close, but no cigar. Unfortunately for Angel Garcia, and who knows, maybe that save in regulation would have given him that push. But again, this is what I'm talking about, the consistency that this guy has in freestyle. He's second in freestyle right now with 2 more trucks to go, and that's been just about his thing all season long. But again, Black Pearl and Steel Titan coming out now, still chasing that freestyle win. It hasn't been the best to him. You know, he's thrown out some great runs, some consistent runs, but just none of them have been enough so far for a win. So maybe he can turn things around here, or at least score high enough to where he can get that overall event championship and get those 5 crucial bonus points. But, you know, going back and talking about Daniel and all that, and Northern Nightmare back in Tour Violet, I mean, he's been pretty consistent. He finally got his first freestyle win of the season after, again, being at the heels of these other competitors. So it was a huge win for him. And he could be one of my favorites when it comes to getting the freestyle win. You know, if we're talking tours, it's definitely, well, see, that's tough because Blue Thunder and Riley Strider, he put on an amazing run in the first stop of Tour Violet. He got that win there, and he's been somewhat consistent with Freestyle since then. But something tells me that he's very capable of coming out and throwing it down even harder. And it's tough. I mean, Brutus is there as one of my favorites for sure. I cannot go against that. But with Tour Violet, it's definitely between Blue Thunder and Northern Nightmare. But enough of that. Let's not take away any more from Black Pearl. And Steel Titan looks like he's going to go for a front flip, and beautifully executed front flip, just like he did in Best Trick. And again, he got his first Best Trick win of the season here in Colorado in this stop. So maybe this is the stop that he gets his first Freestyle win. Huge air. Now, if he can get some more wow moments, some more saves before time runs out, I could see him as being the new leader. Hard hit there. Luckily able to bounce back and get a save, but that was a very violent hit. And leaving 12 seconds on the clock, and that's going to shut him off. And the hit must have been a little too much to handle. So that, those 10 seconds being left are probably going to hurt him in terms of score. It was a great run, very consistent. Obviously, he still kept the body intact, which most drivers have been unable to do. So that just shows you how much control he had. But right here, that hard hit is what kind of ended his run here. And an 8.493, so I'm sure there was some sort of deduction, and there was some sort of deduction for leaving those 12 seconds on the clock. Again, it's going to be it's tough competition, and we're ensuring that, you know, leaving time on the clock is some sort of penalty to ensure that, you know, we have fairness all the way across the board. Here goes Megalodon, though, and Pelor 89, and at this point, he just needs to score a little lower than Black Pearl for it to be in Black Pearl's favor. But if he comes out with a win, then it's going to come down to the overall event championship to see who gets those 5 crucial points and who's going to end up on top going into stop 4. Or at least who's going to have a better chance. Stop 5, not stop 4. But Megalodon right here, but he's been in some bicycles. And if I were him, I wouldn't waste too much time on bicycles because, you know, everything's being scored, everything's being judged. But this isn't Best Trick. This is Freestyle. You can't, you know, you got to give a little more. If you want to get a Freestyle win, and not to take away from that, it shows incredible skill, incredible talent, and it's very hard to pull off. It's Freestyle, baby. You gotta come out with everything. And as I say that, he's going for a front flip. And can he save it? Yes, he's gonna save it. So he may have heard me in that cab, talking a little smack. So he came out with some more, but let's see if he can keep the rest of this run going, because again, the bicycle around, that's fantastic. It's great. It shows a lot of skill, but save that for Best Trick. This is Freestyle. You got to come out, you know, swinging on 100% and just give it your all and do everything you can right there. Beautiful somersault. So right there, differentiation, variation. Make yourself different from the other competitors. So just over 20 seconds left on the clock for Megalodon. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be 100% honest. I do not see this run taking the lead. We may have our winner already, but we're going to have to wait and see, as he still has a few more. No, he's done. Actually, he's done. That is done. There's no more time on the clock. He's going to end it with some donuts here. But we're going to look at his highlights. But again, I don't think he's taken the lead. Again, beautiful air at the start of his run. And it was a great run. It was consistent. But right here, it was at this one. This bicycle was just too long. It wasted a lot of time. A beautiful front flip to follow up. This nose wheelie right here that comboed into a somersault. I mean, great combos, great moves, but he wasted too much time on that bicycle, and I think that's what's going to hurt him. And yes, that is what's going to hurt him. 8.483 for Megalodon. So that means Firefly and Gravedigger the Legend gets his first Freestyle win of the season, 9.027. So the scores have been a little low comparing it to the other stops here in Colorado, but nonetheless, pretty fair. Gravedigger the Legend getting the win, Brutus second, and Black Pearl, I believe, was third, if I looked at that correctly, as we look at the Freestyle leaderboards. Now let's go ahead and move on to the overall event champion with 10 points in 3 out of the 4 competition and 8 points in Freestyle. It's Black Pearl and Steel Titan becoming a 2-time event champion here this season. This is the overall leaderboards right here, right there. Megalodon 5 points away, it seems like, from getting that, from tying him. So again, the overall event championship leaderboards and the overall seasonal leaderboards, and look, a 5-point difference now between Megalodon and Black Pearl. We started from a 15-point difference to a 5-point difference. So stop 5 is going to be the one to watch. It's going to be the one to dictate all this and who our winner is going to be. It's going to be a fight to the finish in Death Valley. But before we get there, We got to go to Colorado for stop 4 of Tour Violet. So be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to hit that like button. And we'll see you in Tour Violet.